Matthew Ince Museum Presentation 12 due on 12/01/24. Musée du Louvre virtual visit on 11/27/24. FA 211-C-2410- Introduction to Fine Arts, Dr. Rodney Coe. Museum layout, general atmosphere of the Louvre. Main entrance. The museum has several entrances, including the iconic glass pyramid designed by I.M. Pei, carousel entrance, and the Richelieu entrance. Central atrium. The central atrium under the gallery pyramid serves as the main hub, where visitors can find information desks, ticket counters, cloakrooms, and access to three main wings. The museum is divided into three main wings: Richelieu, Sully, and Denon. Each wing houses different collections and departments. The museum features two main courtyards: the Cour Carré Square Courtyard and the Cour Napoleon Courtyard. These open spaces are surrounded by the museum's wings and provide a sense of grandeur and openness. The Louvre's architecture with its grand halls and opulent decorations exudes a sense of history and majesty. The museum's vast collection, spanning over 4,000 years of art and history, creates an atmospheric cultural richness and diversity. Given its popularity, the Louvre can be quite crowded, especially around major attractions like the Mona Lisa. However, this bustling environment adds to the vibrant and lively atmosphere. Other notable works of the Louvre include Christ Among the Doctors by Claude Vignon, The Vocation of Saint Matthew by Charles Wattiers, and the Equestrian Portrait of the Marquis de Lagny. The artwork I selected for my formal analysis is the Marie de Medici cycle by Paul Rubens, and it then worked on from 1622 to 1625, and it's in the Louvre, the Musée du Louvre in France, Paris, France. The Marie de Medici cycle, a series of 24 paintings by Peter Paul Rubens, was commissioned by Marie de Medici, the widow of King Henry IV of France. The primary painting depicts Marie's personal narrative and her importance as a queen. The genre of the cycle is historical, and it was created during the Baroque period. The primary function of the cycle was to immortalize Marie's life and achievements by depicting her struggles and triumphs. Rubens aimed to create a grand narrative to celebrate her role as a powerful woman in a male-dominant society. The intended audience for the Marie de Medici cycle was both contemporary viewers and future generations. The painting was initially displayed in the Luxembourg Palace in Paris, serving as a visual testament to Marie's legacy. They were meant to enhance her reputation and legitimize her regency during her son Louis XIII's minority under subsequent political influence. The Marie de Medici cycle by Rubens was great using oil on canvas. Rubens employed a variety of techniques to achieve the rich, vibrant colors and detailed compositions characteristic of his work. He often used oil sketches of preparing studies, which allowed him to experiment with different compositions and color schemes before executing the final paintings. Rubens was known for his masterful portrayal of human figures, lush and richly colored fabrics, and well-developed themes often derived from both Christian and classical traditions. His technique involved layering translucent glazes to create depth and luminosity, as well as using bold, dynamic brushstrokes to convey movement and emotion. Theobald Rubens himself was born on June 28, 1577 in Siegen, Nassau, Westphalia, which is now Germany, and he died on May 30th, 1640 in Antwerp, the Spanish Netherlands, now Belgium. He received a classical education that combined both human studies and artistic training, both in Siegen, Westphalia. Born in Siegen, Westphalia, he moved to Antwerp with his family at the age of 10. There he received a classical education studying Latin and classical literature. This humanist background influenced his later works, which often incorporate themes from classical mythology and history. Rubens began his artistic training at the age of 14, first apprenticing under Tobias Verheek, a landscape painter. He then moved on to study with Adam van Noort and later with Otto van Veen, both prominent artists in Antwerp. Under Van Veen's guidance, Rubens learned the principles of painting as a lofty humanistic profession. In 1600, Rubens traveled to Italy, where he spent 8 years studying the works of Renaissance masters like Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo da Vinci, as well as Venetian artists such as Titian, Veronese, and Tintoretto. This exposure to Italian art profoundly influenced his style, introducing him to the techniques of dramatic composition, vibrant color, and dynamic movement that became hallmarks of his work. He worked primarily as a painter, which he was known for, particularly religious, mythological, and historical scenes, as well as portraits. He produced works for some of Europe's most prestigious patrons, including royalty and nobility. He was also a designer of tapestries and prints. He also worked as a diplomat for Vincenzo I. Gonzaga, the Duke of Mantua, and Archduchess Isabella of Flanders. The social economic conditions of the time were good despite the economic prosperity. Despite conflict, cities like Antwerp experienced economic growth, especially during the 12 Years' Truce from 1609 to 1612, which allowed for increased trade and commerce. Society was stratified with a clear distinction between the nobility, clergy, and commoners. Trade networks, extensive trade networks connected Europe to the Americas, Africa, and Asia, bringing wealth and exotic materials to European markets. There was a revival of interest in classical antiquity, influencing art, literature, and education. Political conditions. The period was marked by political instability and conflict, including the 80 Years' War from 1568 to 1648 between Spain and the Dutch Republic. Counter-Reformation was in full swing, leading to religious conflicts of the Catholic Church's efforts to get away from its domination through art and architecture. As such, Peter Paul Rubens' father, John Rubens, had to flee from Antwerp due to his Protestant beliefs. Rubens' unique contributions include the Baroque style. He is considered one of the greatest exponents of the Baroque style, known for its dramatic composition, vibrant colors, and dynamic movement. He is also known for his bold and expressive use of color, which added depth and emotion to his paintings. He was also adept at creating large-scale works, such as altarpieces and decorative programs for palaces and churches. Other significant works include the Elevation of the Cross, the Descent from the Cross, and the Adoration of the Magi. The subject matter in the Marie de' Medici cycle, Peter Paul Rubens, gives the 24 large-scale paintings that depict the life and achievements of Marie de' Medici, Queen of France. Rubens masterfully uses light to guide the viewer's eye and convey movement, emotion, and grandeur. He also employed color and masterful precision to enhance the drama, emotion, and grandeur of the series. He expertly used texture to add depth, realism, and tactile quality to his paintings. He masterfully used form to create dynamic compositions that convey power, emotion, and narrative depth. What attracted me to this selection? What attracted me to this section is because one, I heard about Louver and movies and TV shows growing up. I wanted to learn more about it, and by doing research on Paul Rubens, I came across the Marie de Medici cycle. I thought it looked cool, and I decided that's why I picked that. The selection was inspiring to me because I was surprised at how beautiful Rubens was able to create such large paintings without any help. It was meaningful because it told Marie de Medici's side of the story. Though Rubens had used some political nuance due to all the political drama that, that was tied to her story. Was this lasting value to me personally? It shows that there are always two sides to a story, and that even though you're going through tough times, there's always hope. I think that the Marie de Medici cycle is one of the greatest pieces of art from the Baroque period because it tells a story about the most regal queens in Europe, and that Rubens' contributions helped shape the Baroque movement and left a legacy in the world of art. The Louvre is one of the most greatest and majestic museums in the world. I hope you learned something from this meditation, and I thank you. Goodbye.